Good morning. Where have you been? And what time do you call this? We should have actually been here at least half an hour ago. Well, I come down later because being a senior butler, you can come down later. So what we're going to do is lay up breakfast for 2 people. So the first thing we're going to do is place the plate on the table, and we've got to make sure that it's in line with the chair. So I'm just going to make sure, that's the first thing I want to check, is that we're in line, which we are. And now I'm going to remove the chair out the way, which will make it easier. And I'm just going to make sure that the plate comes to within about an inch of the edge of the table, because as we all know, it's all about size, and this is really important to help with lining up where everything should be. The top part of your thumb from here to the knuckle is roughly about an inch, so that's roughly where you want the plate to come to. Now what we're going to do is put down the knives first, and then the fork on the other side, and then the spoon. Now the correct way to lay all this up is again using the thumb, so starting at the edge of the table, and bring the knife to the tip of your thumb, and the same again, but here's a little bit different because obviously this table goes round and it's obviously going to change. So what I would do is make sure this knife is in line with the first knife, and then the spoon in line with that knife. And then on this side, again, make sure the fork's in line with the tip of your thumb to the knuckle, which is at the edge of the table, and then that now is all in a perfect line. Which will position just there. Again, it's a bit different with a rounded table because obviously as it goes round, the shape, it changes. So you can't exactly have it in line using the thumb. The thumb's just a guide, and then you've just got to use your eyes to make sure it's all symmetrical. Salts and peppers. And let's remember that with the salt, you normally have a little spoon which you can then use to apply the salt. You can even do a pinch. What we never do, we never dip. So let's not dip any of the food into the salt, because that will be the quickest way of being shown the exit. What we're going to do next is we've got the butter dish, and we're going to place this somewhere that's convenient for both parties to be able to reach, and then again a butter knife as well. And then we've got the remaining 2 side plates, which we will position roughly in the centre. So now what we're going to get is the marmalade and the honey, which is all you require for the toast. So place one on one plate, one on the other. And if this is me actually thinking of others, so when you position the honey on the plate, make sure that the honey twirling stick is positioned facing this guest, and make sure that the marmalade, the spoon again, is pointed facing towards this guest, so it's easy for them to be able to use. And then what I'll do is move the side plate back over and position that just there. The last thing I would do is make sure the cutlery is all immaculate. Now, it has already been cleaned, it has been buffed, but I would always double check it. And the way I do this is I have my glass cloth, which I like to use, and I'll just double check the fork. So make sure there's no marks on it on both sides, and if there is, again, just give it a bit of a buff. And then position it back to where it was, and remember, again, using the thumb to make sure you get it in the exact correct spot. And I don't know if you know this, but knives used to be pointed, and then apparently history says that Louis XIV got fed up with his guests killing each other with the pointed knives, so he had them all rounded. What I say to that, trust a royal to take the fun out of it. Pop it in the toast rack, and that is all ready to get presented on the breakfast table.